Hi, it's Leslie from Leslie's Cookies and Treats. So today I'm going to be using the sweet stencil holder from the Sweetest tiers. This is my favorite stencil holder because it's really easy to work with. You can do a lot of cookies without having to wash the stencil, and it will keep your cookie in the right place every time. So it's got this little plastic piece here where you can put the design underneath, and then you can lay your cookie on top of that design so that it's lined up right every time. I'm going to be using some silkscreen stencils that I made myself using the Cricut, and I'll have another video on that soon. But let me show you how I'm going to do this. So first, let's do a practice one. I'm just going to squeeze some icing on the stencil and then scrape it onto a paper towel or a piece of parchment paper underneath, just to see how the stencil is going to work. So I squeezed some royal icing on. My consistency is about a 20-second consistency. And now I'm just going to scrape it off using a Thingamagenie or a boo-boo stick from the Cookie Countess. With the silkscreen stencils, I found that you want your icing to be a little bit stiffer, but not too stiff, otherwise it's hard to get it through the silk. So about a 20-second consistency is perfect. So here's our test stencil. I know that it's pretty hard to see, but it looks like it came out great, so let's give it a try on the cookie. So my test stencil is not completely dry, but I went ahead and put it under the plastic anyway, and then I can line my cookie up on top if I'm going to be doing a lot of cookies this way. Then I'm going to go ahead and lay my stencil down on top and then put the magnetic frame around it to hold it in place. And I might need to adjust the design underneath the little plastic sheet in order to make it line up with the stencil on top. You could also just trace around your cookie cutter on a piece of paper and use that as your guide for where to put the cookie. This is really helpful if you're going to be stenciling on a lot of different cookies. Okay, I've got my stencil in the holder and my cookie all lined up, so I'm just going to squeeze some icing on top and then scrape it off using the Thingamagenie from the Cookie Countess. This is actually a pretty big stencil. There's a lot of area to fill. So I'm using quite a bit of icing. If my stencil was smaller, I wouldn't use this much icing. But I'm going to really kind of push it down through the silk and then scrape off the excess. And I'm going to wipe the excess icing that gathers on my Thingamagenie onto a paper towel. Okay, I've got all the excess icing scraped off, and I'm going to very slowly lift the top of the stencil holder. I'm doing this slowly because it kind of sticks to the cookie, and I don't want the cookie to move in case I need to lay it back down and redo any areas. And we're done. Here is my finished cookie. I think that the stencil worked really nicely. What do you think? I went ahead and piped over some of the flowers, but this is the finished cookie. Using the silkscreen stencil has been a game changer for me. I was never successful with the plastic stencils. And here are some other cookies I stenciled for Mother's Day. I'll put together a video soon on how I made the silkscreen stencils. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more cookie tutorials every week. See you next time. Bye.